We're going to talk about your fears and your limiting beliefs. Not the funnest topic, I know, and yet one of the most important pieces of creating breakthroughs in your life and in your business. So let's talk real briefly about identifying the fears and limiting beliefs. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the various ways that you can shift those things. You can overcome the fear, you can release and let go of the intense negative emotion, and you can take the negative emotional charge off of old disempowering memories. You can relieve yourself of the internal struggle that you have with some of your very persistent old limiting beliefs. And then, of course, you can begin reprogramming yourself with empowering beliefs and fill yourself up with the right emotions that are going to help you to achieve your personal and professional goals. No, that's a lot. Let's start by talking about identifying fears and limiting beliefs. Obviously, we know when we've encountered an old fear or an old limiting belief because we can feel it. It doesn't feel good. We have obviously very, very negative emotions that are associated with our disempowering old beliefs. And obviously, there are varying degrees of fear as well. If you don't like spiders and you see something that appears to be a spider out of the corner of your eye, you may feel a slight bit of fear. Or if you have a tremendous fear or phobia of spiders, that fear could be all-consuming, overwhelming. It might cause your heart to start beating really fast. You may have some other type of adverse reaction. That fear is clearly unhealthy. Now, in business, we tend to bump up against a lot of different types of fears. We have conditioning that says it's not safe to put yourself out there. People are going to judge you as being greedy. People are going to judge you for trying to sell your products or services. The fears around impostor syndrome. There are so many different things that people frequently bump up against. And those things can not only slow us down, but they can severely limit our success because you're not taking the actions you need to take, or you are being overly cautious, or you're procrastinating, or you are taking action, but your mindset and your vibration are so off that the actions you're taking are not yielding positive results. So we want to now identify what are those fears, what are those old disempowering beliefs, and how do we clean them up? How do we shift those things? Now, a little caveat here. I'm not saying that you're never going to have a fear again once you learn how to shift this stuff. And I'm also not saying that fear is a bad thing. There certainly are times where fear is indicating something's off here. So if someone comes up to you and they say, hey, I can sell you this advertising service for $20,000 and you have $5,000 in the bank, well, your fear alarm is going to go off and it's going to say, that's not safe. It's not a good idea. And there's a good chance that that is true. Okay. So that's sometimes, fear is supposed to help us, right? But when you have an opportunity, and let's just say this opportunity is going to actually help you to achieve your business and financial goals. It is a legitimate opportunity. It makes a whole bunch of sense. If you weren't feeling the fear, your inner guidance would be saying yes, 100%. But your old beliefs about scarcity, or beliefs about saving for a rainy day and I shouldn't spend that money to grow my business, or I had a past issue and things didn't work out well for me financially, and I'm terrified that something like that is going to happen again, and this is triggering that old memory. Well, that's when fear becomes an obstacle for us. Now, you might be saying, how do I know the difference between the fear that is saying, don't do this, it's not a good idea, versus the fear that's based on old disempowering conditioning? Well, once you clean up the negative emotional charge on that experience, that situation, it's going to become much more clear to you. It's always easier to make an intelligent, empowered decision when you're not feeling the overwhelming rush of negative emotion. So, what I want you to do is an assessment of some of your current fears and limiting beliefs. And what I mean by current is we have a lifetime worth of not so great conditioning that doesn't always work to our advantage. But we simply cannot go through an entire lifetime of experiences and evaluate everything that's gone into our subconscious mind. So, as we are living life and running our business, we bump up against things and we feel the negative effects of those limiting beliefs and those old emotionally charged fears. And so when I say current, I'm talking about some of the things that are active in your life now. After we've identified those, then we're going to be able to use some of these different tools to clear away that intensity of negative emotion, clean up some of these old limiting beliefs. And of course, then when you're doing your reprogramming work with hypnosis and guided visualization and all of the good stuff, you don't have conflicting patterns that are inhibiting your ability to take in that good programming and actually start to see the positive result from that. So for this exercise, you're going to want to grab a notebook, and I'm going to just take you through a brief exercise. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to, in your notebook, write everything down that is coming up into your conscious awareness so that you can start to use the different tools to clean this stuff up. Now, I will say another aside here, just real briefly, that with your business mindset mastery program, you have 1 year of access to the Inner Game Academy. I highly recommend you utilize that. Inside of the Academy are going to be specific videos, EFT videos, clearing sessions for various different types of fear. There is also hypnosis in there to help you overcome fears. So there's a lot of different tools and resources that can help you with this particular topic, this module, overcoming your fears and limiting beliefs. So please do yourself a favor and take advantage of the resources that are available to you inside of the Inner Game Academy. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is make sure that you are not distracted, not disturbed, and we are going to sort of pull up some of this stuff, not so that it can linger, not so that it's highly triggered, but so that you can do a good, honest assessment of what is going on within you. What are those limiting beliefs? What are those fears that are going to require some of your time and attention to now actually shift and work through? So take a nice, deep cleansing breath. And if you remember in our first training, We brought the consciousness into the heart. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do that again. So taking another nice deep cleansing breath, just notice where you feel like your consciousness is. And with your intention, remember, just pull it back into your heart. That's going to help you be more present, more grounded. We want to pull you out of your mindset chatter and into this experience so that you can get the most out of it. And now as you're breathing nice and comfortably, go ahead and close your eyes for just a couple of moments. And if you're feeling any fears coming up right now, just even talking about this stuff may have triggered a couple of thoughts. I'm going to have you just notice the feeling, and you're just going to say yes to allowing that feeling to come up, and you're going to let it pass through, just like smoke rises up and out of a chimney. Emotions are always flowing through us. We naturally release and let them go if we're not repressing them. So if you're feeling any negative feelings, I want you to just say, yes, come on up. We're going to let it come up and we're going to let it pass through. And just like smoke rising up and out of the chimney, it is just going to come up and it is going to pass through. You're just going to feel it. You're just going to feel it flow through, releasing and letting it go. You're feeling any resistance, just say yes to those feelings, letting them come up and letting them pass through. So we're not going to resist the resistance. We're just going to let it come up. We're going to let it pass through. And one of the things that I love to say to myself is, let it come up, let it pass through. Let it come up and let it pass through. And most people can feel a subtle shift as those energies are releasing, as you're letting them go. Now, I want you to think of that vision that you were able to tap into in the last training. What are your goals? What is that beautiful, wonderful life and business that your heart desires? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Now, as you think about that, you may even feel a little bit of fear, a little resistance, a little self-doubt coming up. Just say yes to letting those feelings come up and let them pass through. They're just feelings. It's just energy. Just let it come up and let it pass through. And what we're looking for here is getting in touch with that heart desire, that vision for your life and for your business. Even if you don't know the details, even if it's just, how do I want to feel? Now, I want you to write down all of the reasons why it might not happen. It probably won't happen. Challenges that you expect. Honest assessment of what you believe you actually will experience. And when I say honest, I mean honest. We're not BSing ourselves here. We're being honest because anything that's coming up for you is in your subconscious mind. And we want to jot all of this stuff down. We want to write it all out. Okay. So what fears do you have? What bad things might happen in the pursuit of creating this ideal life and business? Even if it seems nonsensical, I want you to write it down. Even if it seems irrational, even if your mind says, "Ooh, I shouldn't be thinking that, I shouldn't be feeling that. I'm supposed to only think and feel positive things," write it down. This is stuff that's in your subconscious that is not serving you, and we're going to clean that up. So any fears, any doubts, any insecurities, even if it is just an old story that you're telling yourself about how things don't work out for me, I've tried in the past and I've failed. No matter what I do, it doesn't work. I don't care what kind of crap is coming up, you're going to write it down. Okay. This exercise is just the beginning of getting an honest assessment of what is going on in your subconscious mind that is directly conflicting with your heart's desires, your goals, your dreams, your objectives. Once you write this down and you feel a sense of completion, and you may add to it later, okay? But once you feel a sense of completion for now, I want you to proceed to the resources section, and I want you to go through the EFT training video. We're going to start there. That is going to be tool number 1 that we're really going to utilize to start cleaning up some of these old disempowering beliefs. The reason that we're starting with EFT is because it allows us to sort of bounce back and forth between our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, the negative feelings, the negative emotions, and also some of that more positive stuff that we might actually have some subconscious aversions to. And we can take the negative emotional charge off of all of those different dimensions of thoughts and feelings. So I'm going to end here. I want you to go ahead. I want you to do this process, then proceed to the EFT video, the EFT section. Go through the video. There is some helpful notes in there. There is going to be a tapping chart, and instructions PDF that you can download. And there's even going to be a zip file that is going to give you a whole bunch of EFT scripts, so you can work through some of the different challenges that other past business mindset mastery participants have brought to the forefront and said, hey, this is a challenge. Can you provide some guidance on how to begin to clear away this issue using EFT? And then, of course, remember, if you want to take this further, go inside of the Inner Game Academy. There's a whole bunch of EFT videos that will guide you through some of the different fears and limiting beliefs that you may be experiencing. And we will see you in another video.